Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Natasha Telger with LMA WorkNet, and it looks like it is 2 o'clock exactly. We'll go ahead and get started. Today, I also have Chelsea Jones and Lacey Pollock. They'll be watching for any of your questions that you may have. I'm going to go ahead and go through our PowerPoint today and then provide a demonstration. And if you have questions at any time, you can go ahead and put them in the chat pod, and we will go ahead and take a look at them throughout the webinar and answer them. Or Lacey or Chelsea may answer them before I get to them. Okay, so today's webinar, we have assessments to help customers discover their skills and give them the tools to help them gain confidence to reach their goals. So I did a little research when we were putting together, talking about the different assessments that are available in WorkNet and how can our customers use them and all the different tools. And what it comes, once you start looking into it, and even maybe from your own experience, you know that it's really hard to identify both your strengths and your weaknesses. And one of the I did look at some different articles and came across this video. It says assessing your strengths and your weaknesses, and it's a good short web or video. And but three of the things that I took out of the video are some of the things that I'm sure as you as career planners already know and do, but it's just good to kind of walk through them and, again, always put ourselves in our customers' shoes. So one of the things that it points out is that we need the person to help them better understand their strengths and weaknesses is to, learn about the skills that are required for careers, because people have, lots of strengths and lots of skills, but to really hone those in to, as the person says on the webinar, to calibrate those towards the careers that they're interested in. And then really getting feedback from others about our strengths and weaknesses. So Online WorkNet has some tools that can be used for you as a career advisor or career planner to give feedback to your customers about those strengths and weaknesses. And then another item is to be open and understand the feedback. So knowing that you can't always control what if your customers are really open to understanding it, but to help them to understand that what the different skills are that employers need and how you have observed those skills over time, and just try to help them with understanding why that's important. So we do have some tools that are available in WorkNet to help with these items. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first one, so identifying job skills, and that's the first step is really, translating those interests and the skills that you already have to careers, and then seeing what those job skill requirements are. So we do have a couple of actually 4 skills and interest inventories surveys, and those are available through Elmy WorkNet. They're a self-access assessment, and they are available under Explore Careers, and the person would log in, complete the skills and interest inventory. They can save the results and view them. And so based on the different type of interest survey that you complete, you'll get a couple different results or some different results. So you can see here's just a couple of examples of the different types of results, and we'll take a look at this in a little bit. But what that can lead them to is the careers, wages, and trends, so they can take a look at the different jobs or careers that are out there and some of the skills that are associated with those careers. And we do have user guides that are available not only about exploring careers, but specifically on using the skills and interest survey. So it identifies the time that you can expect to take to complete each of these inventories and so forth. So we also have the job skill guide and the digital literacy guide, and this is in the Qualify section, qualify for jobs, because these are those skills that employers really want everybody, work-ready, job-ready people to have. So academic skills, technical skills, and then the soft skills. We'll take a look at this in the demonstration as well. But each of these areas has a video and related resources in addition to the skills that are for each of these kind of buckets for soft skills. And then we also have a similar format for a digital literacy guide. Or these are some tools that not only can people just access, self-access these tools, but they might be useful in helping when you complete some of the assessments we're going to talk about today, to directing the customers back to these job skill guides, because not only does it, show an employer's perspective, but it also provides additional resources so they can help further develop those skills. The other point that the video made was that it's really important to get feedback from those around you. So we have one of the ways to get feedback would be skills assessment. There's all different types of skills assessments out there that you're already using, I'm sure, for academic skills, technical skills, and then those workplace or soft skills. And LMI WorkNet does have free assessments that are available through LMI WorkNet to help you assess your customers' workplace skills. And we'll take a look at those again in just a few moments. But the other thing is that your customers, it's real important for them to get feedback from those who can observe their behaviors on an ongoing basis, because a lot of times it's really hard. If you're good at something, it's really hard to see that you're good at something. Maybe I didn't say that right. If you're really good at something, you might know that you're good at it, but you don't think it's that big of a deal because it's easy for you. But for others to observe those skills and say, you really have a good way of, working with people or something like that. So to help point those skills out. On the flip side, you can also help them identify the skills that they need a little bit of help with and ways to help them improve those skills. So any of those people, maybe your high school teachers or trainers, career advisors, planners, work-based learning supervisors, or even from maybe their their current employer evaluations. So specifically, some of the assessments that we have available in LMI WorkNet for assessing workplace skills would be the NOCTI 21st Century Skills. And normally you would have to pay for this, but if you're an LMI WorkNet partner, then this assessment is available to you for free whenever you order it and offer it through LMI WorkNet. So the assessment that I mentioned earlier, the Skills and Interest Survey, that was self-access. And this one is a little bit different because it's a partner-initiated WorkNet assessment. And so what that means, as a partner, you can have access to go in and order the NOCTI 21st Century Skills Assessment. It's available in a couple of different varieties for sessions. It's a 2-hour timed assessment, but it's available in either 1 session, 2 sessions, or 3 sessions. So you have options there for the delivery of that. Now it measures 13 different employability areas, and so the customer will complete the assessment online, and we have guides and instructions for walking through that process. But the results they'll be completed in the NOCTI system and sent back to LMI WorkNet, so those results stay in the person's LMI WorkNet account. So whenever you log in, you go to your customer, you'll see an assessment tab. You'll just select the NOCTI results, and you'll be able to see those 13 areas and the scores, and then you'll be able to see if they have completed, I believe it's if they received a 70% or higher on that assessment, then they will have access to their digital badge as well as their NOCD uh, um, certificate. And so those who completed the NOCD 21st Century Skills, um, you know, let's say 6 months ago, won't have the digital badge, but if they have completed it within the past, I believe it's the past couple months, then they can, they'll be able to access their digital badge. Okay. The next assessment that we have available through Online WorkNet is the observation evaluation. And again, this is available from the customer's assessment tab. And this evaluation is really intended more for like a trainers or teachers, where they can observe the person over a period of time and give them some feedback on those workplace skills that they will need for college and career readiness. And it gives it to them in a format that it would be similar to how an employer would provide feedback on those skills. And so, again, it's free through Online WorkNet. You have to be an Online WorkNet partner. You simply go to your person, complete the observational assessment, and then your customer will be able to view those results through their Illinois WorkNet account. Okay. The next one that we have is the worksite evaluation. And this is really intended to be used more for work-based learning experiences, whether you're an intern or maybe a youth or a person with minimal work experience. We have an evaluation that can be completed by the employer or the supervisor, and it has I believe 10 different areas. And as you can see here, we have the attendance, punctuality, workplace appearance, taking initiative, quality of work, communication skills, and so forth. And so they have 4 different areas where they can, how they can rate them. And I can't remember if I mentioned this for the observational assessment as well, but it just basically uses radio buttons. So as you go through, you can rate this person on their skill level. And we also, with the worksite evaluation as well as the observational evaluation, with each of these items, you can select the info bubble, and it will give you a description of what that skill is. So basically, the rubric is already built into the assessment. Now, with this assessment, either the workforce partner or the employer provides the assessment, but either the workforce partner or the employer can enter that information into Illinois WorkNet. Okay, and so the third point that I got from the video, excuse me, was to be open to and understand the feedback that you get from your career advisors, from the various assessments, and to helping you reach your employment and training goals. And one of the things that we have, this is a customer's view, and so when you log in, you can see my assessments. They can go in, and these are the self-access assessments that they can complete, and these are the partner-initiated assessments that they can either complete as far as the NOCD is concerned, or assessments that were completed for them, the observational and the worksite evaluation. So they can go in and see these results at any time. We do have a new messaging system that we are getting, or that's in the works right now. And so your customer will receive a notification whenever that assessment, those partner-initiated assessments are available. So they'll know right away whenever their assessment is complete. And what we would suggest is that you review those results with your customers just to make sure that they understand everybody's on the same page with that feedback. And then what they can do is we have a nifty little tool that's available through the Resume Builder. And the Resume Builder has lots of tools in it for your portfolio, resume, and, and interviewing preparation tools. But it also has this assessments piece. And so your customer can go in there, and if you would like to try this, you can try this too. You have access to it as an Illinois WorkNet partner. You can go in, create a new assessment, and they have different templates that you can select from. And with the different templates, it gives you a listing of skills, and then it has different types of opportunities where you may have gained that skill. So in this particular example, it has courses, jobs, internships, volunteer, memberships, activities, interests, or life experiences. So one of the things that your customers could do is go in and say, okay, well, for judgment and decision making, when I was in this course, what are some of the things that were involved with, doing this project that involved judgment and decision making? So, whether it's an observational assessment or the worksite evaluation, it would be good to help them just identify what did you do that you could use as evidence that you have this skill, either through your resume, your portfolio, or your when you're preparing for your interview. And I like this tool because it allows you to have one place where you can just really kind of brainstorm and work through everything and, document examples of where you, not only examples that you have the skills, but also where you can demonstrate that you use that skill. So anyway, that tool is available, and again, that is through the Resume Builder. Okay. So the next step is, to take action, develop your skills and marketing your strengths. So now that you've gone through the process of identifying your skills and your weaknesses, the areas that you need to improve upon, you can use those that information to help you market yourself. And we kind of talked about it a little bit with the Resume Builder, but the Employment 101 guide really walks the person through this process. So when they go to my WorkNet, it's under Explore Careers, it's Employment 101, and this link right here will give them an overview of what is Employment 101, so they learn a little bit more before they dive right on in. It's available from your dashboard. There's a pre-assessment that's available. It's not required, but you can go through the pre-assessment to, just kind of see, what do you know, what do you not know? And then there's the guide, and this is a screen capture of what the guide looks like. It includes preparing a career plan, a job search plan, and then an additional section to help with achieving your goals. This was used in the Summer Youth Employment Program, but now it's available to everyone. And it really walks a person through the process of exploring careers and those assessments that we mentioned earlier, but it also includes the whole job search and planning components as well. And as they go through this process, they actually develop, like they could do a side-by-side comparison of different training, different careers, different training programs, and they can also track the different jobs that they've applied for and so forth. Okay, and then after that, they can take the post assessment, and if they score, or when they score 70% or higher on the post assessment, then they can download their certificate of completion, and they can put that in their portfolio as well. One thing I just go through to make sure I mention it. I mentioned they have exploring the careers, finding training, but then also it really has quite a bit of information in there about marketing your skills. So whether that's through the resumes, interviewing, but it also talks about networking. So, again, it's really, I think it's really good if they can identify what their strengths are and have, gain the confidence just knowing that I have the skill and I can show that I have the skill because I gained it, you know, during this course, during this job, during this experience. And then they can start putting together their responses for interviewing questions and have their 30-second elevator speech ready for whenever they're networking and so forth. And then also for, there's a component there, I believe I mentioned, about setting goals. So they can put together their SMART plan. Okay. So the next thing I want to look at or go over are the partner tools. We have partner resources that are available. You don't have to be a current Only WorkNet partner to get to them, or you don't have to be logged in to get to them if you would like to learn more about this. It's available. Our partner resources, you can go to onlyworknet.com/partners, or our partner resources are always available from the footer of Only WorkNet. So when you go to partner resources, then you just select partner tools, and you'll see there is a section there for assessment. On this page, we have an overview. We have different guides and instructions, not only for our partners, but for the customers as well. So if you're working with a class or you have a workshop coming up, if you wanted to print those materials, you could have them, or you could just get them, show them where to get the resources. We also have our archived webinar. So this webinar will be archived and put on this page as well. And then we have other related resources and background information. One of our new features that is actually just pushed out to production today is our assessment dashboard. Now the assessment dashboard gives you an overview of where all the customers are, whatever their status is for your customers. It gives you a snapshot. So you can see how many people have completed an interest survey or not. Same thing with Employment 101, pre-assessment, post-assessment. We also have the NOCTI assessment, so you can see of the people that you have access to who have completed the NOCTI assessment and who has not. You can also see who has completed the observational assessment as well as the worksite evaluation. So again, the dashboard, the way they're set up, we color code them. So we have yellow typically means that it is a group of people that may or may not need an action taken. So if you are an instructor and you're working with a specific group of people that you have added to your customer group, and you need to complete an observational assessment for them, then you could just simply go to this yellow line right here, select the link, and you would be directed to that listing of customers or students that would need a observational assessment completed for them. Or if you're a career planner and you want to see the results of the people that have observational assessments, you could go ahead and go to the green section, select that list, and you'll have a listing of all the people who have completed a completed observational evaluation. Now, the people that are in this list are only the people that you have access to view their information. So if you don't see your customers or your students on your assessment dashboard, then you can send them an invitation. And we do that using our customer groups tool. So go to customer groups, and you can select to send them an invitation. We have instructions on how to do that. Once they join your group, then you will be able to see them through your assessment dashboard. We do have some instances where we have partners that are career planners through IWDS, and if that is describes you, then you already have access to a large pool of customers through your customer groups, and those are the customers that you already have access to in IWDS. We also have some partners that have worked with us and have access to customers through special projects. Maybe it's through like a DEI or a summer youth employment program or some other program that's being offered through my workNet, and so you already have access to those customers because of a special program, then you should see those customers in your assessment dashboard as well. Okay, so now I'm Pod over here so I can give you a demonstration of the tools. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave this Sharepod this size so that the captioning can continue to have space down there. But if you need to see a larger view of my computer screen, in the upper right-hand corner there is an icon with 4 arrows pointing out to the corners of like a square. And whenever you select that, it enlarges the view of, or that, what we call a pod. So you can have a closer look. So right now, I want to make sure that you can see my computer screen here. I am on the My WorkNet homepage. And some of the tools that I mentioned before include the skills and interest surveys. We have a page that's available that talks about the different types of skills and interest inventories and any related resources that we have on these. On each of these pages, we have our side guide that kind of helps that our customers can use to learn about exploring careers, and some of these cover the skills and interest inventory information. But to access the actual skills and interest surveys themselves, you would have to go to My Dashboard. And so we have a note here that tells them that they have to log into their My WorkNet account to use the skills and interest inventory from the dashboard. We also have our Employment 101. And again, it just provides an overview of the guide. You can see a slide share that walks through, again, provides a more in-depth overview with visuals. And then they would access that from their dashboard as well. Under Qualify, we have the Job Skill Guide. And we have a video that talks about their career rock wall as opposed to a career ladder. We have resources for academic skills, technical skills, and the soft skills. And so when you go into each one of these sections, we have videos from employers in Illinois that for each of these areas we covered a variety of occupations or industries, I should say, and just to try to hone in and show that it doesn't matter what industry you go into, all your soft skills are applicable to all the industries. So it's really important that you have these skills and to be able to recognize when you have them and whenever you need to improve upon them. So we have a little overview for each of these, some examples. We have some worksheets. We'll add additional materials here as they come up, and then we also have related resources. And these are for each of the skills that we have in the Job Skill Guide. And we have something very similar for the Digital Literacy Guide. And again, video, a little overview, and then we have different categories. So let's just say we have software and apps. have, again, videos, related videos, an overview, kind of like why is this, you know, important. This one's a little bit different because we have it broken down into basic, intermediate, and technical professional, different types of users, and the different skills that would be expected at each of those levels. So that's the digital literacy guide. And again, why I'm showing this to you is to help with, just being aware that these are out there, so that if it's helpful whenever you are providing feedback through your observational assessments and worksite evaluations and any other your other assessments that you do, to help them understand the different types of skills that are required. I got logged out. Let me log back in real quick. And I'm going to go to my dashboard. And as a workNet partner, well, let me take one step back. As a customer, you have access to my tools, and so you can easily just go into your Employment 101 guide and complete the pre-assessment and the post-assessment, and then once that is complete, then you can download your certificate of completion. Okay. Real quick. And I have access to the resume builder. And again, the resume builder has lots of different tools that you can use. But I'll go ahead and take a look at what I have here. I have different samples. You can go ahead and add. Well, this is one example of a skills assessment. So you can, for this particular one, you can identify what level you are. You can rate your skills, add comments. There are other skills assessments. I'm going to go to like the accomplishments one. I'm sorry, I can't remember which one I had some samples put in here for. So this will work. You can go ahead and for time management, you can go click on add and just simply, it's just a free text, and then save it. And one of the neat things about this is your customer can go ahead and just easily add in these examples, and then they can share it with you. So you click the share link, they can just send you this this link, and then you can view their skill list. And then the skills and interest inventory, again, you can go in here and view the different skills and interests that are available, or that they already have that they've already completed. Restoring my answers. So this is an example of what the career cluster inventory results look like. Let me go back to my dashboard. That's a really quick overview of the tools that are available for all of your customers. And then I clicked on My Assessments, and you can see we have the skills and interest results that they can see. They also have access to the user guide right there, so it's real easy for them to, they don't have to look for it. We have the Employment 101 with the NOCTI 21st Century Skills. And again, this is the guide for taking the NOCTI assessment, and there's a complimentary or another guide that is a partner guide as well. So, and now the partner guides are available through the partner resources. Same thing with the observational evaluation and the worksite evaluation. They can view those all through My Assessment. Then we also have partner tools, and that's where you can access your assessment dashboard. I went ahead and I have one up for one of our partners. I'm not going to click on these links because this is real information, and I don't want to put our real customer information out there. I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of what this looks like, And so it's broken down into the self-access assessment as well as the partner-initiated assessment. And if you ever have any questions as to, well, okay, that's fine. So in this case, this person has 89 people that have completed the NOCD. Then you can see, well, 15 of these people only had unsuccessful results. So it's not saying, it's saying that you might have a person that has taken the NOCD assessment multiple times, but if they have they might have a successful and an unsuccessful completion. But if they have at least one successful completion, they will be in the customers with successful completion. So if you're ever looking at any of these shortened versions for description, you can select the information bubble, and it will give you a more complete definition. So if you were to select any of these links, it would give you a listing of the customers that you have access to, and then you would be able to look at their assessments. So let me show you. Let me go back to my testing area so that I can show you what that looks like. For this example, we can go into customer groups, and you see a lot with my account. But if you don't have access to IWDS or any special programs, then your list is going to look more like this, and it's going to say your personal group. So you go to your personal group, and again, these are all my sample customers, so no real people here. You're going to look at, we have my sample account. I'm going to go ahead and click on the sample account. And for this account, I'm going to select their assessment. And I can see employment, NOCD 101, or not employment 101, NOCD, observational, worksite, and the view interest. So again, you can still see their skills and interests from this view. Then you can also see if this person doesn't have any employment 101. They have some NOCD results, so you could take a look at those NOCD results. Now, this again is a sample person, so you don't actually see the results for this person. If they have an observational assessment, you can view the results for that observational assessment. And you can also complete an assessment for them. So as you can see, these are just radio buttons, either way. And for each of these items, it has an information bubble. So if you're not really sure if they're yes or no, you can take a look to see which one. And that was actually what I meant when I was showing you the information bubbles. Actually, what I should have been showing you is under where it says the 1, 2, and 3. Because with the 1, 2, and 3, that's where the rubric is, obviously different for the different expectations. So you can select the information bubble for 1. You can say is often negative and struggles. You can see for number 2 is usually optimistic and can reorient. Or number 3 is optimistic and quickly reorient. So that's, you can see again, the assessment is built into, the rubric is built into the assessment. Person here. Go back to my assessment. And then the worksite evaluation is very similar to that. What you can do is you can identify an employer. And here. You can identify your employer, and then you can enter in the job title. and the worksite end date, set that, and then you can select the contact. So this is a real employer, so I'm not really going to add a person to this employer, but you can select the contact, and then you can submit it for evaluation. So then what happens once you submit that information, then whoever is the contact for that worksite evaluation, who is the supervisor that's identified as the contact for that employer um, that you selected as you were completing the form, they will get an email, and basically what it says is complete a worksite evaluation for, in this example, it was the name sample account, but that would be the person's name. And it lets them know that the tool for the employers to provide feedback, it's intended for people that have minimal work experience. And in order to do that, you select the evaluation link below and rate them, and then provide additional comments. So that is available. So let me go ahead and go to another screen here, and oops, I didn't. Let me go back to let's grab this URL. You can identify, if you're an employer, you would just say you're the current evaluator, and then you, again, it's just radio buttons. So the performance improvement plan is needed, or needs development, yeah, or it's proficient, or they're just doing a fabulous job. So again, with each of these, you get a description of what is meant by each of those levels. And so the rubric is built in. You can preview it. You can save, then you save the results, and it updates on my workNet. And when the new messaging system is available, then they will get an email to let them know that that's available, or you can just, let them know. So, but regardless, they would be able to go through their My WorkNet account under My Assessment, and they would be able to see all their assessments that are available. In this example, because I'm logged in as myself, I don't have any observational assessments, but what I would be able to do as a customer, if I did, I would see that the listing would be here, and I'd be able to select the link, and I'd be able to see those results, just as we did for, in my example here, my sample account. This is basically the view that they would see right here. Okay. You can see who completed the evaluation, the contact information. They have their contact information. They can see what the rating was. In this case, it's just yes or no. For the other areas, they have different options, different skill levels that are available, and they can see the definition for, if they got a rating of a 2, what does that mean? Here's the definition right here, so they can see the results. Any questions so far? Let me go back to we have our My WorkNet account, and as I mentioned before, in the footer, we always have the link to partner resources. So if you select partner resources and you have assessment, then you will see we have the different assessments that are identified in this long list. You can get an overview, or basically a little highlights of each of the assessments that are available. Over to the right, you'll see we have resources. Um, we have the customer guide for the skills and interests. Again, these are self-access tools. And then we have the NOCTI 21st Century, observational and worksite evaluation. We have your customer guide there as well as your partner guide. And then we have, specifically for the NOCTI 21st Century Skills, we have a PDF that covers the system requirements. For any of the others, obviously it's offered through Illinois WorkNet, so our general system requirements um, will allow you to use those assessments. I will be adding some additional resources here specifically um, on the dashboard, like a dashboard overview. If there's any other information or any other types of guides or resources that you think would be useful to you, or if you ever have any points where you're a little bit confused and you think there needs to be a guide or an update to a guide, I encourage you to please let me know, because if you have a question about it, then more than likely somebody else has the exact same question. And so we want to make sure that we address those for you. You can always send those to info@illinoisworknet.com, and we can, especially if it's just an update to one of these guides, we can do that really easily, really quickly. Okay. Since we have a few moments, I'll let you think about any questions. You can enter them into the chat, but then I'll go ahead and show you what type, when I was talking about having access to customers and inviting customers and the different types of customer groups, that's available again through the Partner Tools customer groups. And we have our what's called personal group or our invitation group, our general group. And if you don't have access to IWDS or special programs, this is the group that you're going to use. And what that means is that you can help your customers through Illinois WorkNet and access their information, but in order to get them into Illinois WorkNet and make that connection so that you can view their information and give feedback, you have to invite them. So we have some instructions on that invitation process, and it's really simple. It's just basically go in there and I'll go ahead and show you. You just go in there and select your customer group. Let me go back to my demo group. And you just select the invitation link, and you can either invite customers with a single email, or if you want to do a group invitation, I think this is it's pretty simple. Basically, and especially if you're going to invite multiple people, or maybe you're in a classroom setting, then what you can do is just create a code. And then give it a title. And then you can see we give you text, like basic generic text, for your customer group. And if you wanted to add something to it, then you can do that. And then you can create an invitation. And you can see that the invitation is available. You have your group invite. You can use these little business card handouts. You can have them made in advance and hand them out if you know you have a group of people that are coming in, or if you have a group of people coming in, maybe you're in a computer lab. What you can do is just have this set up and even defaulted to this page where they can select it. Whenever they select it and log into their Illinois WorkNet account and enter the test code, they will see that information that says, join our, congratulations, or welcome to our customer group. And it gives you an overview of why you would want to join a customer group, and they can either accept or deny the invitation at that time. If they accept the invitation, they go into your customer group, and then you have access to the different types of assessments and information to help them and provide feedback. You guys are a really quiet group. Any questions or comments, thoughts? Well, if not, we will go ahead and end our meeting or our webinar. And this webinar will be downloaded and made available on in the partner resources section in the assessment area. And it will be made available through this playlist. So thank you very much and have a great day.